Hello, good morning, good evening, and good night. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic because in today's video, we're going to be talking about ZIM Integrated Shipping. The reason being is because ZIM on March 13th, 2024 gave in their results for Q4 of 2023. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to dive into ZIM's earning report. I'm going to go over the net loss that ZIM did occur in 2023 for Q4. We're also going to go over some important measures like their carrying volume. We're going to go over their TEU freight rates, which is the average freight rate and shipping rate for that time period. And basically what I want to do is, although they did report a net loss, why it was actually different from what I expected, and it's a good thing going forward because I have some optimistic news to share. Of course, I don't want to just say, oh, I have optimistic news on ZIM, because I was wrong on ZIM for their Q4. I thought their Q4 was going to be fantastic, and it actually turned out to be okay for what their conditions were. But going forward, I think it's going to get better, and I want to kind of reiterate that in this video. So if you guys do hold ZIM, if you guys hold any high yield stocks, if you guys are interested in anything dividend and making passive money, obviously through stocks, please do remember to subscribe. We're up to 4,184 subscribers. And so with that, let's get into this video. So we're talking about ZIM. ZIM over the past couple of days has crashed in terms of price. We were chilling about like $12.50 or so. And you can see now the share price has dropped to about $9.26. Over the past few days, the previous day we had ZIM hit over a 10% loss, so about 12 to 14%, and now today we're down about 8% on the day. This is coming if we look at kind of like the past, like we'll do 6 months or so. ZIM was on the decline all the way down to $6.59 and then shot up all the way back to $14.45. And that was due to the fact that we thought we were going to see positive earnings for ZIM. But there's some factors that I want to show you, like for example, the TEU rate, which contributed to this kind of loss in income, this net loss of $143 million. So what I want to say is we could see a run up like this in ZIM's next earnings. So just to keep this kind of in mind, if the share price does hit low markers like $6 and you were potentially bullish on ZIM, you think ZIM is going to be good long term, it might be a good thing to pick up some shares when it gets low. But obviously, that is not the main purpose of this video. The main purpose of this video is to go over ZIM's earnings. So let's do that now. So their full year revenue for 2023 came out to be about $5.1 billion. This is $5,000 million, so $5.1 billion, and a net loss of $2.6 billion. That is a pretty sizable loss if you think about it, $2.6 billion. When I go to their financials, I'll go to their balance sheet. They do have a decent amount in cash. Unfortunately, it doesn't go to Q4 2023, only goes to Q3. But you can see here in terms of cash, they had about $1.8 billion. Total current assets about $9 billion or so. And that was due to the fact that they wrote off a bunch of their older ships previously. You can see that they have about $5.6 billion in debt. So they are in a little bit of a leeway with the total assets to total liabilities, which is nice to see. But this is a company that is still negative in terms of income. When we look at their income statement, you can see the last quarter they had a big loss. This is where they wrote off a bunch of old ships, but this is more so what we should be expecting to see. Losses like about 80 million or so. We got 140 million for ZIM. See here, the net loss in the fourth quarter was 147 million compared to a net profit the year prior in 2022. Well, the thing was in 2022, freight rates were a lot higher and they were also carrying a lot more ships. When we go to kind of like ZIM's earnings here, you could see that they reported a loss of $1.23 per share. The consensus was about $1.33 per share for a loss. So ZIM slightly beat analysts' expectations with that, but yet they are still negative, meaning ZIM is still not going to be paying a dividend. When we go down here, we can see, yes, they did beat their earnings, but going forward, it looks like their earnings should increase a lot. Earnings, even though they're still negative for analyst expectations. But one thing to keep in mind was for ZIM's Q4 earnings, this is what tripped me up. This is what really brought to my attention. So announced today, consolidated results for the last 3 months and the 12-month calendar ending December 31st, 2023. When we look at freight rates, December 31st, 2023, you can see it was kind of at the start where there was kind of some tensions brewing in the Red Sea, and that whole kind of shipping area, the shipping line kind of had a kind of shutdown there. So a lot of companies weren't shipping through that Red Sea, leading to higher prices, higher shipping rates. And you can see here shipping prices jumped up, and this was just after the new calendar year. So ZIM was really using these low shipping rates, which were average freight rates, TEU, for the fourth quarter was $1,102. Well, currently, what does the freight rate sit at? They sit at about $3,000. That's triple the current. That is triple what the past TEU rate was for the fourth quarter. So ZIM reported a $147 million loss with a $1,102 TEU shipping rate. Well, with shipping rates 3 times higher, I do expect that ZIM's earnings obviously to be a lot higher as well. So that's one thing ZIM has going forward in the future. I personally thought that ZIM was going to report a positive earning because of these shipping rates, but what I didn't realize was their Q4 only went up until December 31st. They really lagged behind. It's really weird how they do their earnings dates because they are 3 months behind. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what their next earnings is going to be. I don't know if it's going to be positive or not. It all depends. But the fact that shipping rates are currently 3 times higher puts it in a good position for their May earnings, their Q1 earnings of 2024. So that is the main thing that I wanted to bring to your attention. Obviously, when we're looking at kind of their carrier rate did decrease by about 4% or so from the previous quarter. We're looking at I'm not sure if this is the last year's. So from last year's, you can see a decrease about 4% or so from 823. This is their carrier volume, 1,000 TEUs to about 786,000 TEUs. So they did have a decrease in that. They had a very low shipping rate, which obviously contributes to their $147 million net income loss. So this was kind of the gist on ZIM's earnings. I do think in the future, it's definitely going to be higher with these higher shipping rates. How high is it going to be? I don't know. Will they be able to pay a dividend? I don't know. It all depends on their earnings. If ZIM can be positive, if they can report positive net earnings, net income, then they will be paying a dividend. They will pay out 30 to 50% of whatever they make in the positive. And that's why I currently hold all of my 41 shares of ZIM, and I'm not looking to sell anytime soon. I think they have not seen what the potential of this current shipping rate has done for the business. I do think it could potentially make them positive. There is a chance, but we will all kind of see in their next quarterly earnings. So with all that, this was kind of the overview of ZIM's earnings. ZIM did report a loss, but in the future could be better with these shipping rates. That was a kind of little breakdown on what ZIM's earnings were, my kind of thoughts around it. If you guys did enjoy this video, if you guys do want to see more, please remember to subscribe. We're up to 4,184 subscribers. So without further ado, I want to say thank you guys. I will get to your video suggestions in the future. I just wanted to make this video because it was one that I was waiting for a very long time. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I hope you guys do take care, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.